Again, my name is Peter Carbone. I've been with Renesas for many years in different parts of the world doing many different functions. And currently, I am located in Santa Clara, where the Synergy IoT Platform Business Division is located, and where the software, tools, architecture, and marketing, and basically BD headquarters is located. We're actually one of the first non-Japanese business divisions located out in Tokyo. Throughout the day, I will be in and out of this. Throughout the day, I will be here at the conference, and I'll be more than happy to meet with any one of you. So feel free to exchange business cards with me, give me your feedback or any questions about the Synergy platform. In order for me to explain the evolution of the Synergy platform, there's many ways of discussing about a product. And I'm going to refer to a gentleman who wrote a book called Start with the Why. His name is Simon Sinek. And he compares the different ways of doing that, and therefore created a model called the Golden Circle. And he talks about a lot of companies will talk about their product on what it does, what its features, what functionality it offers. Some companies may even talk about the value or how it delivers benefits to the customer. But ultimately, the core belief, the why, is really what generated Synergy. And I'm going to explain about that in my presentation here today. The very existence, the very belief, core belief of why Renesas created the Synergy platform. In order for me to explain that, I have to give a little backdrop of a little historical of where our industry has been over the last 30 to 40 years. For those old enough to remember where it started with the birth of embedded electronics in the early 70s, where mechanical machines turned electronic with the introduction of semiconductors. They were programmed in a very basic functionality, usually in a very low-level language, assembly language, and they were based on an array of TTL logic and basic MPUs. Then, as the semiconductor process became finer, and integration of semiconductors allow greater functionality and capability, the goal was to take these electronic products to make them, I like to put a general term, smarter. In doing that, they made them smaller, they made them lower power, operate on a battery. They made them higher performance to do more functionality and more real-time capability. Ultimately, it became cheaper. For those who remember, VCR 20 years ago cost over $1,000, and now it's barely $50 or less for a Blu-ray player. These sophisticated products need to be programmed at a more higher level due to its complexity. Therefore, C and C++ programming language was introduced. And the products became more programmable with the advent of FPGAs, flash-based MCUs, and such, being able to give more flexibility in the hardware design. Now, looking at the next generation of products, as we heard today, read in the press, and can talk to almost anyone in the world, will see that this Internet of Things revolution is upon us, getting closer or already in some of our products today. As many people have announced, over 50 billion things are going to be connected by the year 2020. Excuse me. These machines are going to be much more intelligent. Because of the complexity, a higher level of abstraction will yet have to be created. Developers will have to start developing at an API level, almost unaware of the hardware underneath that because of the complexity in there. In cloud or fog computing will be an important element of their product strategy as we talked about in the earlier presentation, as products now offering services. Now the challenge for many of us in this room today isn't not knowing that there's vision, not knowing what's coming, but how to get there. Most people can see this today, see what tomorrow needs to have, all the challenges. However, do you have the tools to get there? Do you have the infrastructure, the IP, the capability, the resources, the capital to get over this next crevice, this next challenge? And we'll see a lot of new companies be created, a lot of old companies go away, and several companies transitioning into this new marketplace. And the basic premise of why Synergy is basically a platform to enable companies to build an infrastructure and to get over and into the IoT revolution. And talking about infrastructure as a means of getting somewhere, much like a bridge as a way of getting from one side of the river to the other, the importance of the bridge isn't the construction of the bridge, although it can be quite interesting. It's the getting to the other side. That's the benefit. And when companies look at the value of their products, and many of them want to be cloud-enabled to offer intelligent services, the building of that bridge or that infrastructure is not the main goal of your products anymore. And therefore, Synergy is a platform that provides you that infrastructure to get to the other side of the river. And this is what we're going to talk about today. But once you get to the other side of the river, you're still going to face many different challenges. Software versus hardware. As we see this complexity of the products that we are creating in order to make it into the IoT revolution, we see increasingly amount of software resources are needed to accomplish that project. In many, many cases, substantially larger than the hardware resources needed. Software quality dominates the quality of the product. And the delays of the product are traditionally linked now more to the software development as to the hardware development. Also, another aspect in some of the challenges is the business success of that product. In many cases, in the past, it was, hey, if I can just reduce my bill of materials by another 10 or 15%, I can capture a larger market share. But in the IoT revolution, it's much more of a, what I like to call high mix, low volume kind of applications that are emerging right now for many startups and mid-tier customers, that the total cost of developing that product is much more substantial and much more determining the business success of that product than the actual BOM cost of the product itself. In fact, an important element of that success is what we referred to in an earlier presentation as time to market. As the first one or two or maybe third company to enter that market usually captures majority of the profit. And then the fourth, fifth, sixth, and so on are automatically failures in capturing the value and profitability as that market becomes commoditized. So getting the market quicker is very important. And then in complexity, as we talked before, there's an increased level of complexity in IoT applications. Now they have to be connected. Well, once they're connected, they have to be secure. And that capability may not exist inside each and every company today, right now. How are you going to include that? And then the human-machine interface. As mobile phone suppliers have set a new standard, and how users want to interact with machine, you now have to incorporate equal kind of capability in your products. Again, new challenges. Since a lot of this technology may not automatically be in your company right now, you have to then source it, license it. You have to worry about liabilities and IP and patents associated with that. Again, another level of complexity. So these are some of the challenges we see customers have in order to successfully get to the other side. in order me to explain how companies can address these challenges, I need to define two basic definitions. One is called pipeline, another one's called platform. Now, pipelines is what we commonly understand and know and what most companies do today. It's quite simple. They see a market. They said, if I can develop a product for that market, then I can make some revenue. Therefore, they develop the product, they manufacture it, they distribute it, they sell it. They want more revenue. They design more products, manufacture more products, and sell more. Therefore, the size of the pipe is linearly correlated to the revenue, profitability of that product. Very traditional model. Now let's go into the platform model. The platform basically exists for others to create business in addition to the platform owner. This is where people contribute to the platform, contribute content, and then users of that platform take the platform and that content to create their own products. Now, we're not talking anything new for many people. Let's just give an example. If us today wanted to start a cell phone business, and we broke you up into two halves, one half pipeline, one half platform. So the pipeline guys, when they wanted to develop the cell phone, said, let's hire a bunch of engineers, let's create some SOCs, let's write some low-level drivers, let's design the PCBs, let's create an operating system to run our cell phone, let's write some apps, let's do this. Let's see how long it takes that group, probably 2-3 years, probably $40 to $50 million to develop that cell phone. Let's talk to the platform group who wants to build that cell phone. Well, they call it Qualcomm. They download the Android operating system. There's an array of already apps supported on that. Within 6 months, they got a cell phone, they're in the marketplace, they have the basic functionality, and then they add their own secret sauce and value to that platform. So platform, who do you think will be more successful in this marketplace today, in this example? And platforms have been all around us. Set-top box, routers, and the most successful platform, the PC. For those long enough to remember, in the late 70s and early 80s, PCs were a platform. There were various companies who created their own chips, their own boards, their own operating system, their own apps, just like I explained before. They took 2-3 years to develop. They had huge engineering resources. They came out with Tandy, Atari, Commodore, Amiga. Were very popular PCs during its day. But it was not fulfilling the market need as it took too long. The quality of the PCs, of these PCs, were relatively low, and the amount of content relatively limited. And then IBM, Microsoft, and Intel got together and created this platform, what we call today Wintel. And the market just took off. And now we see in productions hundreds of millions of PCs today that take, honestly, 3 to 6 months to get in production, that achieve an ultimate low cost because the total cost of ownership is quite low. And now we're going to see the next generation PCs or mobile devices built on iOS and Android. So let's go a little bit deeper. As we see platforms, such in the PC model, we had content creators, software content creators, such as Adobe, Intuit, and such. Hardware creators, NVIDIA, Micron, MediaTek. And then service value creators, Quanta, Compal, Foxconn, who are able to provide and use this platform and create solutions for customers who needed to enter the market, such as Dell, HP, IBM, Acer, who created new markets because of that. Now, if we take that same model and we move it over to the IoT area, where again, 50 billion devices need to be connected by 2020 and even more beyond that. Synergy is a platform that is basically there for various software, hardware, and service system integrators to create content, the basis, to lower the cost of ownership, lower the customer's R&D requirements, to get them a product quickly into marketplace. And we'll talk more about how we do that when we talk about the how and the what later in the presentations. So the past approach, where customers spent days or spent a huge amount of time selecting hardware and software components, looking for open source, reference designs, various ecosystems, ultimately seeing that their value was making something faster, lower power, cheaper. The future is trying to gather and utilize a platform to get the market quicker and looking for that platform to be high quality, one-stop shop, so that they can get the market accelerate and then focus on their differentiation and innovation versus repeating and reinvesting on the basic infrastructure development. For Renesas, the product now becomes the platform. It's completely integrated, it's tested and warranty, it's qualified by Renesas, it's scalable to go across a range of products and applications. We become both a single supplier of hardware, software, and tools. We've all been there where we see arguments among the development with our customers. Is it a hardware problem? Is it a tool supplier problem? Is it a software problem? With a platform, all that becomes very clear who's the owner of that. And ultimately, the customer then focuses his efforts not at the device level, but at the API level. Therefore, accelerating his development, much like a cell phone, much like a PC, much like a set-top box and routers, where they focus on their innovation and differentiation. And in conclusion, as we talk about today, we'll talk more about in the presentations to come, the Synergy platform consists of 5 basic elements: the software, the MCU family, the tools and kits, the solution, and the gallery. Ultimately, our commitment to you and why we created that is to accelerate your development, reduce your ownership, reduce your cost of ownership, and ultimately eliminate any barriers for you to get to market quickly, as we offer a complete and integrated embedded system. And with that, I'd like to say thank you very much. I'm glad to be here in Taipei today.
Thank you.